Hello, boys and
We're
girls
on.
again. This is me, Ivry. I'm showing you everything that's happening here in Israel with all of the action here. Now, talking about the action, the news media abroad, they concentrate on what's happening on the Gaza border because we have boots on the ground there and everybody wants to know what's happening. But as a secondary issue, please take note that we have action going on the Lebanese border. And the guy you can see on the screen now is a young friend of mine. His name is Yonatan Alman. How are you doing, Boker Tov? Good morning. How do you say Boker Tov? How do you say good morning in Yiddish?
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, this guy records Yiddish clips on TikTok, and I'll give you the link later. And he's making everybody laugh. He's in a self-propelled artillery unit of 155 millimeter cannon, and he's up
Yep.
north there defending me. Thank you very much, Jonathan, and his
You're
family and
welcome.
everybody else in Israel. So, good morning, Jonathan. How are you?
Thank you. Doing very well. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better every time I see you on TikTok with your smile and giving these clips in Yiddish. But today we'll talk in not in Hebrew, but we'll talk in English. So, Jonathan,
Yep.
you're on
Yeah.
reserve duty there now, and tell me what's the feeling? What's your feeling about being there?
Oh, yeah, 2 months have already passed. We already got used to our reality here. It's not very hectic, but we have a task to shoot from time to time.
I see.
But doing, I think we're doing a good job, and we're all here and we are ready and prepared.
Well, that sounds good and it makes me feel safer. It really does. Thank you very much indeed. Now, as we
Yeah.
know from the news and around the country, there has been somewhere in the region of 150,000 to 200,000 residents, both of the north and the southern borders, who have become evacuees. And where you are now, there's a whole border zone, I think from the Lebanese border, maybe 5, 10 kilometers wide, something like that, where evacuees have come down and basically almost have almost emptied the towns of Shlomi, Kiryat Shmona, the Moshavim, and the Kibbutzim all along the border. So
Yeah, that's correct.
tell me, first of all, uh, how do you see any residents where you are, or you're out in the field, or what? I'm not asking you for your exact location, but do you see any civilians wandering around?
No, we are based in it's like a field, basically.
Yes,
Artilleries have no a real base. They're spread out.
I see.
But you see when you travel out of this military closed area that there's very little traffic going on, very few civilians.
I see.
Yeah, that's the way it is
Okay,
done.
well, your battery is there in the field, and you are inside your self-propelled cannon, which is an acronym in Hebrew called Tomat, which means
Yep,
self-propelled artillery
yep,
tank
that's
on a
correct.
tank base. Can you show me around inside of the cannon without revealing any military secrets?
Yeah, yeah. And let me just change the camera. There we are. And I'll disguise this little unit here.
I see.
There we are. So this is the entry, the sedan, the entry of the where
Yes,
we
the
put our
I forget what
ammunition
you call
in.
Sadan in Hebrew. The bottom of the cannon where you do the bomb loading.
Yeah, you put it on this tray, the
Yeah,
bomb, the projectile. This is
yes,
an hydraulic uh, press. It presses it in.
yeah,
After that, you give in the explosive material. You shut
yeah.
this door, and in the little hole, you put a little bullet that has no head. It just gives up
It's
a little
a
fire.
firing cap.
Yeah,
I see. Now,
And
how many are you in the crew inside of this cannon?
let me see, one, two, three, four.
How many
Inside
people
would
in the
be
team?
four. In this cavity, in this area will be four,
Uh-huh.
including me. And
Yeah.
at the front it will be a driver, and from behind the can another two people. Four in this area.
Yeah.
Another one is sat down in the driving position, the driving
Yeah.
cockpit, and
Yeah.
two from the side that are giving them more explosive and projectiles.
And what is your function in the crew?
I'm the commander. I lead
Oh,
and
I'm honored.
supervise the.
I'm very honored. I see. And you have people outside as well getting shells lined up or something like that?
Yeah, they prepare the ammunition. The explosive material sometimes needs to be um, changed over. Subparticles maybe removed and then retied together, or just tied up more tightened. And the projectiles from the outside, they have a little armor head that can be set to different definitions, so they have to prepare that as well.
I see. So you
And they,
have the fuse at the top can be a normal explosion or a proximity fuse or something like that.
or a timer based, yeah. So that needs to be defined.
I see. I see. What is the range of the cannon or the range that you are already at now?
Well, I think the top would be 28 kilometers,
I see.
but you
Okay.
usually don't fire at the top of the range.
Okay, but that's the technical part of the discussion. Let me ask you, what is the general feeling between you and your crew and the battery team there? How are you all feeling? I mean, you are in Miluim, you are in reserve duty. So what
Yeah.
is the feeling amongst all the boys there?
Well, it varies on the type of person you. If it's a father of many children and a wife, so it's more complicated. If it's a young student, also has its own complexity
Well, yeah,
because of the
you are a young
missing out.
student.
No, I'm finished. I'm actually in a good position. A good. The advantage of not having a child and being after the studying process, I'm not losing. I mean, my the end of my studies isn't delayed, and I'm getting paid the normal amount as I go along, and I don't have the problems of I'm not seeing my children. So I think I have it easy. The others may have it more
So tell
complicated.
the viewers, you single, married, children, what?
I think I've just recently found my bescherte, as we say in Yiddish. The
You're, yes, I'm trying to think of the, I know a few Yiddish words, you're Beshelter. You're the love of your life, let's call it.
yeah, with the bisschen mazel, yeah.
Yeah. Where are you at in your studies? Have you finished your engineering studies?
Yeah, I finished engineering degree in 2017, so that would
Uh-huh.
be approaching 7 years. And I'm at my second adult job, product. It's called an account manager and a sales engineer in a company that imports bearings and components for linear motion. They're based in south part of Tel Aviv, and I think they're moving to Rishon LeZion. They should be moving until February. And I also have my new initiative. I play and sing Yiddish songs for an audience.
Well, not only do you are highly talented in terms of music, play the piano, the accordion, the guitar, the ukulele.
Yeah,
I remember
ukulele.
you gave a performance of a George Formby songs.
Yeah, yeah.
I was on the stage with you, and you told me, Ibri, you got no sense of rhythm, and I agree with you. I'm tone deaf and no sense of rhythm. But anyway, apart from all of that you're doing, you also have your side hustle, which is your gardening career. You
Yeah.
you sell gardening equipment, lawnmowers, and everything. I think at the last count you had something like 25 lawnmowers that you
Oh
were
yeah, I had
selling.
a row of them. Yeah, that is a bit that has slowed down just a little, as you can imagine. But yeah, I do a bit of gardening, and I fix and repair gardening equipment that has little engines, little
Yes, and
petrol
you
engines.
do the gardening and the landscaping for people, customers around. So you have a lot going on. By the way, for the viewers, I should point out, I know Yonatan very well indeed. His father was my best friend, and I'm very close to the whole family. So this is how
Yeah,
I managed to get permission to talk to him. Okay, Jonathan, let's take a
quite social.
little break maybe, and you can climb out of the cannon and show us around. Yes, or do you want to
Yeah,
carry on till me?
yeah, yeah, easily. I'll
Okay,
just
carry
change over
on.
the camera.
Okay, I see. Well, you got out very quickly like that. That's good.
There we are. That's what
Okay.
it looks at
Oh,
from the
I
side.
see. Can you just distance a bit and show us the whole artillery piece and the length of the cannon and everything else?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, it doesn't give away your location. Now I can see the gun if you move around, I think to your left or oh, I see. So you have the escape hatch at the back, quick escape
No,
hatch.
that's actually the main door.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's the right side of it.
Yeah.
It's very similar to a tank. It's defined as a cannon. It has a much bigger barrel, a diameter. The range is a
Yes.
lot longer. Maybe it's not as agile as a tank, but it gets you where you need to be. We have driven, no, let's say traveled here on tracks 80
Ye-
kilometers.
Yes.
That's quite the distance in this sort of vehicle.
I see. So tell me, I mean, you obviously spend a lot of time, as it is with many combat units, a lot of time in between action. The action is a short bursts of activity. And
Yeah.
what is the discussion going on between you and the other guys? Are there any women in your unit, by the way?
Very few that have to do with more administrative purposes. I
Mhm.
think manpower, and there's a similar. What's the discussion? There's a few. What sort of a war
I mean,
might
for
kick?
example, what is your feeling about, first of all, your effectiveness of being there on the Lebanese border? And obviously, you're discussing what's happening over the border with what's his name, Nasrallah and the Hizbullah. Um, do you think that you are effective by being there as an artillery unit? That's the first question. So I'll leave you to answer that. What is your effectiveness?
The artillery is it plays a crucial role in combat. First of all, it's very agile, meaning to fire on an area which is miles apart. All you have to do is turn the cannon a little bit. In comparison to a brigade from tanks, they have to travel. That'll take a long time. But we have such a wide and a long range. So it's very effective to have a battery of cannons spread out. I think there's quite a few. I think there's three or maybe four regiments, but I don't know. And the purpose is to be a crew and a cannon that is ready and fully functional. And it can all kick off in a second or can be planned ahead. There are all sorts of firing missions here.
I understand you. What was that noise? Is that somebody talking to you on
It's an alpha.
an
You remember
alpha?
the alpha? Yeah,
Alpha? Yeah. Well, I know what an alpha is. That's the fully tracked ammunition carrier.
yeah. It's. I think it's taking away the rubbish from the last shooting. The
Okay.
waste, artillery waste.
Also, many years ago, I was an alpha driver. and what we
Yeah,
call in Hebrew English, I was a geezer.
a
For
Giza.
the viewers, a geezer are the guys who carry the shells. My shells were 75 kilos in weight, and it took two of us to put them on the tray and load them. How heavy are your shells?
Ranging between 42 to 48.
I
I'm a
see.
higher.
So you have to be a bit of a stocky guy. You have to be fit. You have to be fit.
Yeah, those surprises. You have few, let's say, lightweight loaders that are doing a very impressive job.
I see. Okay.
Little
And
ants.
so we were talking about your general feeling and what you talk about. How do you, amongst yourselves there, on what we can see as relatively the front line from here at least and abroad, how do you see this engagement and activity continuing against Hezbollah? Because, okay, I'll let you answer that question.
Well, it's not for us to decide. But we need to understand there are what 150,000 people that were evacuated, and why? I mean, if they are going to come back soon, what are they going to come back to? 40 or 50 kilometers away from the border that are clear from terrorists. I don't think there's many settlements there. I wouldn't know.
There,
So,
there are quite a
true that.
few because I was there in the early 1980s. There are the
Yeah, but maybe
Maronite
they're
Christians
abandoned.
in southern Lebanon, and we tried to help them, and they tried to help us in the early 1980s. And we went through that whole procedure trying to affect a regime change in Lebanon, which didn't work out with the Jamal family and the Maronite Christians. So today we are now talking about hoping maybe that Hezbollah will withdraw from the border zone, maybe up to 20 or
Yeah,
30 kilometers north to the Litani River. But
yeah,
as far as I'm concerned, that to me is wishful thinking.
yeah. I mean, if that won't happen, so I guess they'll need to. Israel will have to acquire this sense of security in other means, or by having soldiers here at the front all the time,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe I don't know. I'm not a general. Maybe starting a war to get this over and done with. No idea. But the sense of uncertainty will not be accepted by the northern population. Not after what happened. No
Okay,
worries.
so here we are. We're now. Tell me, is there any message that you want to tell the world about what are you doing and why are you doing it? Why are you there in reserve service?
Well, when it comes to the Israel Defense Force, a considerable part of the army is based on reserve duty, similar, I guess, maybe to home guard or enlistment. I went into reserve duty a few times, not only to practice, and now we have our duty to perform. It is a privilege to be able to contribute to the fighting effort in Israel, a Jewish land. It's quite a young one. I don't think like we have the option. I don't think there's an alternative. Uh, Not taking Israel, I don't think there's a better land for a Jewish population. I feel even the Jews from abroad, I think it's important for them that there'll be a Jewish land somewhere in the world, even if they are happy living where they are. Uh, and there's only this little bit of land, so it has to be protected at the south. There's
Yes,
not a chance that
well, the
anyone's going
thing
to.
is this that the South started with a terrible, terrible massacre on the 7th of October. And then, and the whole conflagration flared up there, and the rockets were going on, and the terrorists were wandering around, and then we went in
Yeah.
boots on the ground. But for the viewers who don't know about what's happening on the Lebanese border, actually, in one sense, Hizbullah in southern Lebanon is a much greater threat than Hamas in the south because Hizbullah is much, much bigger. I don't know how many people they have there, 30, 40,000. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah.
And they have a much bigger store of munitions, weapons, rockets, and they are fully supplied overland via Syria from Iran. So the rockets and the
Yeah.
munitions they have there are much, much bigger and more of a threat to us here in Israel than in Gaza.
From the speeches that were given out from Nasrallah, it doesn't appear that they're very anxious to kick off a total war. It's a very
Yes.
tense situation, but it doesn't mean at the moment doesn't seem that any side would like to kick off. So I think I know from our side, every bomb is taken into consideration if it has the danger of escalating this situation. I mean, they wouldn't fire on civil village, to my understanding. It has to be only on terrorists or an area that rockets come out of. And I guess the other side is behaving in the same way because this can kick off a world war, basically.
Well, there is the whole problem of escalation and the domino effect.
Yeah.
It started in Gaza, it could go into Lebanon. Lebanon could go into Syria. Syria is quite active as well, not as active as in Lebanon. And as you said, Hassan Nasrallah is keeping a relatively lower profile than what's happening in Gaza. But the domino effect could lead to Iran, and already those stupid terrorists, the Houthi in Yemen, joined in. So hopefully the Houthi will just be a side game that the major powers will deal with because of the blockade on maritime shipping in the Red Sea. Hopefully somebody else will deal with the Houthi and we won't have to deal with them. Oh, I completely agree with you. And is there any message that you want to tell the Jews abroad in Yiddish? Because
In
you
Yiddish.
speak Hebrew, English, Yiddish. I don't know what other languages you speak. Is there a message in
Well,
Yiddish you would like to tell the Jewish diaspora?
well, I think it's better to say it in English, but and in Yiddish, I can say exactly the same thing.
Okay,
I
well,
think for the
just
Jews
say
abroad,
quickly in Yiddish, even though I don't understand
it's not
Yiddish. I
quick.
know a few words. Go ahead.
It's not quick at all, aber für die jüdische Bevölkerung auf der ganzen Welt ist sehr wichtig, als wir wollen alle wissen, was tut sich du in Land und erklären auf unser Schreinim, der Goy, was passiert du und darf verspreiten dem Wissenschaft. Die Wissenschaft darf verspreiten die Neues. What I said that it's important for the Jews, the Yiddish population of the world, to educate itself of what's happening here and to spread it out in the world. There's a lot of propaganda going on and a lot of misleading information. So I think they should get it a bit more accurate and spread it out, spread the word, because all these slogans from Gaza to the sea, Gaza will be filled, whatever, Red River. People need to understand that the reality is very complicated. I'm not referring to who's to blame or who was here first and all that. Just need to understand the present situation and what we have and to understand based on that. I
Okay,
think it's a
well,
duty. I think the what's the word for hasbara in English? Propaganda?
public relations, PR.
Public relation is it's I feel it's like an abandoned post when it comes to the from in a formal way from the state of Israel. I don't think there's a ministry of public relation that's operating at the moment. You can see Noah Tishby and I'm sure Gal Gadot and Scarlett Johansson and all the Jews and I think it's important that I mean if you have some form of connection to a Jewish land state, a population, people, a folk, they should educate themselves and
Well,
spread the
I
word.
agree with you, first of all, that the national public relations campaign by the government, in my opinion, is very poor. But um, not Gal Gadot, Noah Tishby is, and I can see here that I'm running out of time. Okay, Noah Tishby is doing a great job. Uh, but via this video, I would ask Gal Gadot to contact me, and she knows how to contact me. And
Yeah.
I would like Gal Gadot to say a few words as well. So I'll leave it at
In
that.
Yiddish.
Uh, I'll leave it at that. As my father would say, sein gesund and the gesund in your cup. Yes,
Yeah.
and keep well and keep on doing the good job that you're doing. And thank you very, very much for talking to me.
Seid, seid gesund und stark.
Seien gesund und stark. Okay, keep well and keep strong. And thank you again, Yonatan Alman. Bye
You're
bye.
welcome. Bye bye.